Today is a Sunday, March 2nd, 2026. We are already into the month of March, right? We need to march forward. Company, march! Well, I was with the U.S. Army, so today is March 2nd, not March 1st. You need to March 2nd. Today we are going to learn English by reading this article. It appeared on Yahoo News and it's from Business Insider. Miami heat. Phones are ringing off the hook as California billionaires look to drop nine figures on homes in the 305. Jordan Pandy, Madeline Berg, Saturday, February 28th, 2026. California. By the way, I'm sitting in my car outside Cafe Circle Road. It's raining outside, kind of drizzling. Now it's a little bit stronger, so more than drizzling. So it's good to sit in the inside the car and not bothered by people at the cafe. And it's raining outside, and the views of this rustic countryside is fantastic. California billionaires looking for a favorable tax policy are making Miami hotter than ever. Larry Page spent nine figures on three properties, and Mark Zuckerberg and Sergey Brin are reportedly looking. Luxury agents say that at the upper end of the market, prices are going one direction, up. Sadie Albanza Del Lago has sold luxury real estate in South Florida for over 3 decades, typically to doctors or family business owners ready to spend as much as $8 million on a home in the Miami area. Almost overnight, that's changed. Her phones are ringing with billionaires, titans of tech and finance, looking to drop nine figures on waterfront properties. Right, waterfront properties. I got a flurry of requests and inquiries. Del Lago, who has landed 2 billionaire clients recently, told Business Insider, I had a lot of Zoom calls with people coming in January after the holidays. I had a lot of Zoom calls with people coming in January after the holidays. While the Florida migration among everyday people may have cooled following a pandemic-era boom, billionaires are fueling a spree of massive purchases. They are largely looking to avoid a proposed California wealth tax, which Del Lago said led to the busiest January she's ever experienced. She is not the only one. 3 other agents told Business Insider that inquiries picked up at the end of 2025 and continued into 2026. Google co-founder Larry Page dropped 9 figures on properties in the 305 over the past few months, sparking a series of news articles about who might follow. 9 figures. That means like $100 million or $323 million. His co-founder, Sergey Brin, is reportedly close to closing on a $50 million property, and Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg is reportedly looking in the area. The Californians were never really a target market for us. Del Lago said, California's a beautiful state, but now, because of all the political situations and all the tax laws, it's just coming in our favor. That's good expression. It's just coming in our favor. It's just coming in our favor. It's just coming in our favor. Florida's billionaire population is growing. The state had 123 as of the start of the year, up from 110 in January 2025. According to Forbes data compiled by Americans for Tax Fairness, California's billionaires aren't the only ones taking an interest, with Palantir planning to move its headquarters from Denver to Miami. CEO Alex Karp may soon be putting down roots. When big tech comes to call, people moving to Florida for tax reasons is nothing new. The state, which has 0% income tax, including capital gains and limited business regulation, has seen waves of ultra-wealthy migration. During the pandemic and shortly after, Miami boomed, attracting people from the Northeast and Chicago who were drawn by lax COVID-19 restrictions and lower taxes. Big names from the world of finance, like Citadel's Ken Griffin and Thoma Bravo, moved themselves and then their companies to the city. Crypto firms flocked to take advantage of Florida's friendly policies. FTX pre-fall made a grand entrance by buying the naming rights to the local arena, and many big-name VCs ensured they had at least one partner on the ground to make deals. Naming rights to the local area. Buying the naming rights to the local area. That's good name, right? Good expression. Buying the naming rights to the local arena. The proposed billionaire tax is helping propel the latest wave. At the end of last year, some billionaires began cutting ties with California ahead of a proposed Billionaire Tax Act deadline, which would impose a one-time 5% tax on California residents worth of $1 billion, including those who moved after January 1st. The proposal hasn't yet garnered enough support to make the November ballot, but that doesn't mean rich residents haven't threatened to leave the state. Page spent over $180 million on 3 properties in Coconut Grove. Brin looks set to follow, with outlets including the New York Post reporting he's in talks to buy a $50 million waterfront property on Ellison Island. So this is good. Brin looks set to follow, right? Brin looks set to follow with outlets, right? With outlets. Well, I don't know what outlets. It's news agency. Zuckerberg, too, is looking to make a deal on billionaire bunker Indian Creek, as the Wall Street Journal reported. Billionaire bunker Indian Creek. Representatives for Page and Brin did not respond to requests for comment from Business Insider. A Meta spokesperson declined to comment on Zuckerberg's potential move to South Florida earlier in February. Finance set the table. Now it's tech's turn to eat, and their meals are the most expensive yet. Before, having a $20 billion or $3 billion sale was an outlier. Ana Teresa Rodriguez of Coldwell Banker Realty and Business Insider told Business Insider, you needed to be very lucky to sell that. Outlier, right? Outlier. Data from Miami real estate research firm Analytics Miami shows that in 2018, one single family home over $30 million sold in Miami-Dade County. Here, data is a plural, kind of, but actually it is considered as a singular, right? So data shows. In 2025, 19 homes priced over $30 million sold, a 1,800% increase. Empty lots are even selling for $100 million, a price point unheard of in Miami before 2020, according to Analytics Miami. Water frontage has become the ultimate target. Water frontage has become the ultimate target for the ultra-wealthy, and since there isn't that much of it, it's going for whatever someone is willing to pay. The prime single-family waterfront areas like Star Island, Indian Creek, and the Venetian Islands, all those places, there's prime scarcity. Analytics Miami founder Anna Bozovic told Business Insider, the influx of billionaires from California, she said, will likely add to the escalation of the market. More than mansions, billionaires are famously high maintenance, and attracting them is no small feat. That's good sentence, right? Billionaires are famously high maintenance, and attracting them is no small feat. Douglas Elliman agent Diana Golden Taylor said that the latest crop of Miami from an already sunny state, Douglas Elliman agent. So Douglas Elliman is a real estate company. Douglas Elliman agent Diana Golden Taylor said that the latest crop of Miami movers coming from an already sunny state aren't just fascinated by the sun rays and glamour of South Florida. Miami has never been as sophisticated and as diverse as it is in 2026, and the level of wealth moving here is making Miami level up, Golden Taylor told Business Insider. Though the number of billionaires arriving in Miami enclaves is small relative to those neighborhoods' total populations, their wealth is not. A dozen billionaires can have an outsized influence on a local economy. Yeah, amazing, right? An outsized, we say oversized, but outsized influence. Outsized influence can have an outsized influence on local economy. A dozen billionaires can have an outside influence on the local economy. Wealthy people like to have access to really good financial advice. They want to have access to good legal advice. Liam Bailey, the global head of research at Knight Frank, told Business Insider. To attract that infrastructure, billionaire Florida transplants Griffin and Stephen Ross put a combined $10 million toward a new effort to bring talent and companies to Florida's Gold Coast. The stretch from Miami to Palm Beach is called Gold Coast. So what does it mean? To attract that infrastructure, billionaire Florida transplants Griffin and Stephen Ross put a combined, I don't know, it's Griffin and Stephen Ross. Their push, called Ambition Accelerated, aims to attract tech and business sectors by working with founders, CEOs, and investors. CEO Mike Simas of the Florida Council of 100, which is running the initiative, told Business Insider. So Griffin and Stephen Ross, right? Billionaire Florida transplants. So they moved from other state, and it is called transplant. He pointed to the region's expanding educational and healthcare options, such as new private schools and a Cleveland Clinic branch in West Palm Beach. Palm Beach, sorry, not Palm Beach. Palm Beach. Palm Beach as key selling points. And of course, by the way, Cleveland Clinic is famous, like a Mayo Hospital, right? And of course, money from tax savings to utility costs is a big part of the pitch. You've got a partner in government for your growth rather than a government that's trying to cap that success with regulation or tax or other burdens, Simas said. To be sure, Miami has been trying to make Miami happen for quite some time. And it's a long way from becoming the next Wall Street or Silicon Valley. Even if compared to the size of the financial cluster in New York, it's tiny. The tech cluster in California, it's tiny. What's going on at the moment in Miami is embryonic. Embryonic, right? Embryonic. Bailey said, over time, if you get enough of this kind of activity, you are basically constantly enhancing the depth of talent pool and the depth of opportunities. After all, Attend and McMansion Field, Rome, wasn't built in a day. Right? After all, Attend and McMansion Field, Rome, wasn't built in a day. Here is a singular noun. It's instance, right? Instance. Instance of Rome. After all, Attend and McMansion Field, Rome, wasn't built in a day. So we see a lot of people are moving to Miami. Most of them are billionaires. Mike Zuckerberg is looking to buy 900-figure home on the waterfront in Miami, right? The Gold Coast is called from the stretch from Miami to Palm Beach. From this article, we learned many expressions, right? Many expressions. So we are going back and look for, it's just coming in our favor. It's just coming in our favor. Having the naming rights to the arena, having naming rights to the local arena. Brain looks set to follow outlets. Brain looks set to follow. Data shows, right? Data shows. Billionaires are famously high maintenance, and attracting them is no small feat. Billionaires are famously high maintenance, and attracting them is no small feat. A dozen billionaires can have an outsized influence on a local economy. A dozen billionaires can have an outsized influence on a local economy. After all, a tent and mansion filled Rome wasn't built in a day. Well, thanks for listening. Have a nice Monday. Today is a holiday, right? In Korea, it's a holiday because March 1st is our independence movement day, where many Koreans went outside and shouted, Korea is independent. Get the fuck out of Japanese, right? Japanese, get the fuck out of here. That was in 1919, March 1st, when we were under Japanese colonial occupation, right? They raped people, they raped women, they pilfered precious national treasures, they prosecuted Koreans, they killed Koreans, they took a lot of wealth out of country to Japan. They confiscated our rice to feed their own people when we went hungry. Japanese did terrible things to Korean people, and they have to pay for that. But our ancestors got together and shouted, Korea is independent country, and we are better than Japan, right? Yeah. So since March 1st was on Sunday, we lose one holiday. So the government made it a temporary holiday today, right? Today was kind of what we call replacement holiday because we got compensated. I don't know, in Korea we have many holidays now. So I'm a bit worried about it, but hey, it's good to have another holiday and do nothing and you get paid because you are a salaried man. Thanks for listening and have a great Monday. Bye-bye.